to this world all alone. You gotta take your soul, you're on your own. The crow flies straight, a perfect line. On the devil's bed until you die. This life is short, baby, that's a fact. Better live it right, you ain't coming back. Gotta raise some hell, or they take you down. Gotta live it.
Oh gosh dang.
Your soul is mine. The scourge in the guise of sanctity. My perpetrator will. I'm a steeped in the world's one history. The Jesus of the hell. Yes.
Welcome into Tiger Talks Wrestling. We are here today for Best in the Yard 4 recap show, Retrospective. I hear an echo from my own spot here. There we go. All right. And I am joined today.
I just refreshed for that reason.
Joined today by my co-host, Mr. Awesome, first of all. Get toasted.
Yeah, I love that look. Oh my god.
But of course,
the toaster
D-Lock
returns.
as well.
Oh my god. That's great.
It's the outlaw.
That's fantastic.
The outlaw, indeed, yes. All right. How you doing, D-Lock?
I'm doing all right, man. Holy moly. It's been a crazy, I would say 2 years. It's been crazy. I think for all of us. So it's definitely been wild. I'm glad I'm finally back on and get to talk to you guys again and, hopefully have a good time on here. And I need that intro, man. Whoever did that, that's freaking awesome.
That'd be Mr. Awesome.
That's freaking great. You need to send me that. That's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. And in case he pops in at some point in time, Mr. Judgment's supposed to be joining us. We'll see if he shows up or not. But
uh-oh. That'll be funny. Y'all get to see me pick his brain a little bit.
Nice. Oh, we got a couple of things that we'll show outside of Biddy 4, or at least one thing that we got to talk about as well. But we'll get started with what we're here for. Let's look back at Best in the Yard 4 pre-show.
Oh, man.
He's like, I don't remember this.
That was definitely, I enjoyed the pre-show. Those guys, they really did. They killed that. I enjoyed it.
I'll do the first part here in just a moment once it decides to cooperate with me here.
That's right.
That was just nasty right there.
Alright.
It definitely came a long way. It's a long way.
Look at all them people. Well,
So before we move into that next part, all right.
Yeah, D'Lo and Adam, man, I wish I could work them. I've only got to really, I trained with D'Lo, a bunch, but never really got to work with him or Adam. But they definitely, those two guys, they've definitely come a long way, and I wish we got PK too. I mean, I wrestled. Funny enough, I wrestled them too. They wanted me to come to their company. I wish I remember the name, but it no longer exists. But
yeah, I remember
yeah,
I've seen the video.
they asked me to come down there, and yeah, I had a good time down there talking to them guys, and I wish we could have got PK because he definitely had a whole lot of potential to be something good, but it just didn't really, schedules didn't work out. But man, those two, they definitely, the kickoff, they done very good, and I'm happy for both of them.
Yeah, at that time, D'Lo, of course, had the little tendency of not showing up for shows. Hence the reason they're saying he showed up at the beginning of it. Something I do remember from that time. And it was his second best in the yard because he won the pre-show battle royal the year before. Whereas it was Adam Anderson, of course, first best in the yard event. So they definitely put on a good fight between two.
I think that match is really forgotten, at least by now, but I don't know. I enjoyed that looking back at it.
Right?
Man,
I think D'Lo had a lot of potential considering when he came into VTW. He had a lot of potential to tap on.
When he came into VTW, I mean, I love him to death. He was something. He was something to had to fix the kinks around, but he definitely caught on very quickly, and man, he is very good at what he does, and I love his character too. And even when he was in the change, I mean, he was just building and building, and I really do wish I got to work him. And hopefully down the line, maybe.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. But
Well, he's been trying to push somebody into a match at least. But on Twitter.
I have a lot on my plate at the moment, but y'all get to see that shortly. So
yeah.
I don't want to spoil anything.
All right. Let's go on to the next match from the pre-show. Might just do the highlights of both matches, and then that way we'll talk about both of them afterwards. They're both kind of short. So screen. All right. So, first of all, we had, of course, Casey Chambers getting the victory over Malachi Reimer by pass out. Tell us a little bit about both guys, really. We never really seen a whole lot. We've seen some of Casey. I've never been, honestly, a huge fan of his work on VGW programming anyway. But nobody really knows a whole lot about Malachi Reimer.
I met him. He come in. He had come in a couple shows before, and we talked a little bit. And funny enough, the green gear that I wore before I was ever the new gimmick now, he had asked me because he said he didn't have any gear. Well, I was funny enough. I said, well, I'm actually retiring this gear, and I said you can have this. And so I gave him my old gear, for him in the future. And, and I don't think anybody's really talked to him much. I mean, he had so much potential going into, and I wish we could have, I think he moved or something. I'm not sure. But funny enough, and then AC, funny enough, me and him, we actually had butted heads early when he had come in, and we really, it was kind of mutual, but we kind of just sat down and talked to each other, and he is now one of my good friends, so we definitely get along. And it's funny enough, a lot of people, they didn't like him. He had a bad rep, and he's definitely come and changed his life around, and now he's in the Indies and doing his thing, and and I respect that, and I show him all the support and hope he does the best, and hopefully I think he'll still be around, so we'll be able to run it back too, so
yeah. And of course, last match we seen on there was Blaze and Canine. First fist in the yard for both guys. Pretty fun match to watch.
man, them guys can do it, especially Blaze at his age. I mean,
right?
Good. I mean, when I went up to DVW just a couple months, that was the first time I actually seen him before anything else. And God Almighty, he's almost taller than me. I'm like, at his age, I mean, he's only 14. I mean, he's
something like that. Yeah,
it's crazy. And K9 as well, man. He is, which he goes by K Omari now in the Indies, but he is
right.
he's definitely going to go somewhere. He is God Almighty. He is phenomenal, and the both of them, and Matt too. And I don't count out Matt. Matt's definitely, when we got to run it in VTF, God Almighty, he's definitely he's funny. He's a funny worker. He's funny. He had me rolling, and I was just trying my best not to laugh and break character, but he definitely had me rolling.
You can see that. We'll see a little more of Matt in a little bit too. That was a pre-show. Me personally, I think I enjoyed the Blaze and Canine match more than the other two. Nothing against the other two matches, but
they were definitely all good. They definitely had their spots, and they were
right.
definitely all good. So,
All right.
I think, to be honest, that Malachi Reimer, or better known as Caution to most people, he didn't really even get his VTW debut yet. He was like one of the freshest talents that was going to come up. And so I think KC was really his test right there. And you saw at the end of that, he refused to give him a handshake. So when you don't give KC, who's known for having an attitude, you don't give him a handshake, well, it seems like Mr. Steal Your Girl, he damn sure has a bad reputation right there.
Yeah. That definitely can. That definitely will spark it. And it sucks. I mean, I wish we could have debuted, and I would have took him as the first match because I would have definitely tried and get him some momentum and build him up. It's definitely probably I would have probably built Malachi as probably a heel because I mean we were definitely. I don't think we had as many heels as people think we had, and it's hard. It's hard to just go full heel. I tried. You all seen it. I tried. It doesn't work. It never works. You always become a face at the end. It doesn't matter. It just never works. It sucks. You could be a dick and it still works.
Yeah, I think that's partially part of the world we live in these days. Most people want to cheer for more so the rebel or the heel than they want to cheer for the baby faces.
I tried. I just accepted it. I'm just a face now. I accept it. It's over. No turning back.
All right. All right. Let's move into the main show here.
Now we're getting to the juicy stuff. Here we go.
Yes.
Now
don't say juicy out loud, considering what this first match is. Don't say that. Dear Lord, please don't.
Here we go.
Careful.
Right now, here we go.
Is it full screen? Oh.
Only.
So I'm not gonna have much to say about that first match.
Stuff that. Oh my god. The stuff that Ecstatic does, it just blows my mind. I mean, he just does the most. I love him to death. He's my brother. I love him to death. He's so great. But he does some stupid shit to his body, and it's unreal.
Right?
It's unreal. I just don't understand. And I mean, and also Van Pelt as well. I mean, he can. I tell you what, he can talk and talk and talk on that mic, and I wish I could. Do that. I can't do that for nothing. And he's definitely a good worker, and I wish I could hear from him. I ain't really gotten in touch with him lately, but hopefully here soon. But I won't say much. I'll keep it short and sweet on that. But it was a good match. It was good.
Yeah, they had a good match. I just didn't care for the whole storyline around the match. Put it that way.
How about that ending, though? That's what we're really here for.
No.
No comment.
Agreed.
I'm not going to get in trouble. No
Moving along, shall we?
I mean, it was physical.
That one was a short clip.
Well, the match was the shortest.
That's true. Both a pretty short match there between Caleb Cross and Dirty DeChico. I was surprised. I was watching that match back the other day. Surprised at how much offense Caleb Cross actually got in on Dirty DeChico in that match.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Caleb, finally, I got to work him this past couple months, and he's good. I mean, we got to sit down and talk for first time, and he is definitely he's willing to learn and improve, and I'm glad to see that, and I enjoy that, and people that really want to take their time into the business and learn stuff, and obviously, Dirty DeChico. I mean, I consider him an icon of BYW. I mean, he's great.
I think we agree with
him. There's so many people I wish I could have matches with, but that would have definitely been I would say a stiff contest.
Probably about as stiff as he had with Dustin at Pity 3, for that matter.
Yeah, probably as stiff as this concrete road that's in front of me. That's probably as stiff.
Yeah. But Dirty picked up another win there. I believe he's 2-2 at best in the yard. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
He won his first one. He lost to Mike. He lost to Dustin, and then he picked up that one. So
I think that match could have really made Caleb. I think, to be honest, they've had similar paths. Like, going into it, Caleb Cross was trying to forget about his past as striker, where he was unsuccessful. Kind of how Dirty was with Templar just 2 years before at Biddy 2. He didn't want Templar going in to face big time Mike, now did he? He knew he had to be Dirty DeChico once more. And I think it was all about respect right there. Caleb was trying to earn his idol's respect, and I think, if that somersault into the ring post didn't do it, I don't know what did.
Right.
That looked like it hurt like a motherfucker.
Definitely Dirty. I mean, coming off a loss, Dirty was coming in. He was coming in looking for a win. So, I give all the credit to Caleb Cross and, putting up the fight he did. But when you have Dirty wanting to come back and come for a win, it's hard. It's hard to beat that.
Yeah. Maybe. So here's an interesting match that we're going to be watching. Oh, yeah. All right. So that was originally it was supposed to be a 6-man tag match. It was supposed to be KJK and Big Time Mike versus FTR. Of course, we get the handicap match out of it, but those 5 guys went balls to the wall pretty much for that match, in my opinion. headshots galore, BBTs, you got Percolator, you got everything from Cam, everything from Drew, Kevin got his moments in there. What more could you ask for in that situation that those guys have?
I mean, all them guys can. I can't. I mean, all them guys can work, man. They can all do it, and they know how to build a story. I mean, they know how to do it. I mean, Cam, Gage, AK, Kevin, Drew, all of them. They know when they're all together. They definitely know how to build a story, and I mean, I've got to work with most of them, not all of them, but most of them, and I've got to talk to them plenty of times, and it's fun picking their brains, and they definitely know how to do it, and the story that they created with that, and all the promos and stuff, they done a great job. They definitely did very well. All of them guys, they're doing their own thing as well. I mean, Drew's in the Indies, Cam's in the Indies. We know who K's. We're
Cage is.
AK, we kind of know. So they're all doing their own thing. And Kevin's doing his own thing as well. So I'm happy for them guys. And, and me and Drew actually just talked recently. We're trying to get something together. So hopefully y'all see some of that. I talk to Cam regularly. So, I mean, they've done a great job. They always do. They kill it. And
oh, he freeze or die freeze?
I think he froze.
Okay. You never know with my internet connection. But off of him freezing, I'll mention that big spot of Drew tossing Cage off the top of the roof. I don't think anybody was expecting that to happen.
Yeah, I don't think that's quite ever happened at Best in the Yard, so I think Drew has that as one of his Best in the Yard moments.
Agreed.
I mean, as Jack Thomas said, that's the height of Hell in a Cell, and to be honest, with the performance they put out, it might as well have been in a Hell in a Cell match, because I could imagine it. I could imagine if Mike was involved, could you imagine a 6-man Hell in a Cell match with them? Oh, man.
Lord.
The bloodbath would be insane.
Hopefully
Lord.
D-Lock back here in a moment.
But I guess we'll get my thoughts out of the way.
Go for it.
If people looked at the NUW release recently, where you could find out how this all transpired, because most of the stuff you cannot find anymore, I think this match is a true culmination of two eras, where KBW was its own era, and the Best in the Yard era, and it pretty much collided right there. And pretty much, it was also a full circle of Cameron's VTW run, because he left UWE, he left BEW to go be with his friend, who retired, but he came back.
Right.
And if you remember when he came back, the FTC was back. And then they put a steel chair in the back of their brother. And if you look at it that way, kind of how I do, Drew retiring, quote unquote, is kind of disrespectful and probably was intended to disrespect the legacy of what Mike did.
Yeah.
Because I think they were just trying to disrespect the legacy that was KBW. And I think they succeeded. And clearly they did succeed. The Biaton and the Afro Shock and the damn Black Toad Splash.
Black Toad Splash, and then you see the off screen Kevin had AK's leg stopping him from bringing up the pinfall.
Yeah, and I think if you're a KBW viewer, you were pissed off once more.
All right. Alright. And back in, we'll be talking more about the KBW versus FTR match there.
Finally back. You tend to lose service when you're out in the country. It's very hard.
It happens.
It sucks. And I hate my phone. But it's okay. We're back.
Alright. Let's move on to the next match.
Oh shit! Oh my god! Oh my god! Get over! No!
Go too quick. Go too quick. All right.
Trying to get it out of the way,
All right. Well, it was supposed to be originally a singles match between Brandon Costelli and Matt. Turned into a triple threat with Corey Graves. That was the first time, I believe, at that point that Corey Graves had been in BYW in a year or better. It's a
Competing,
surprise.
yes. And the host of Best in the Yard 4, followed in the footsteps of the host of the year before, making it a triple threat match. And it's kind of crazy how the triple threat match, usually the inserted name comes from that company. Anyways, Corey Graves is back, and he was back better than ever. He rewrote his wrongs from Best in the Yard 2, and people thought it was probably going to be a one-off. But little did we know, he's back.
Yep, Corey's been
And
back.
that chair shot, god damn. CTE right there. And I thought Rick and Mike was something. I think that's up there too.
Yeah, Brandon definitely ate that chair shot, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was ouch. Ouch. Ouch.
I cringed just watching it again, so.
Yeah, the human skull is not supposed to sound like that.
And that set him back. It definitely. He was out there to prove something, and he did, and which is wild. And I mean, like I said, all them guys. I mean, they know what to do. They know how to work, and I mean, there's no really. I mean, I just enjoyed everything. I mean, I wasn't really, I'm not kind of the picky guy, just to sit here and critique everybody, and and everybody does their own thing. I enjoyed it, and I hope everybody else enjoyed it. I mean, they all done great. So.
Right. All right. Definitely was a triple threat match we weren't expecting. Corey getting the win was unexpected. Of course, he wasn't expected to be there, but we got a pretty good moment out of it. Move on to the next match. Yay, it stayed full screen this time.
Yeah, you roll back to that chair shot too. That was another one.
Yeah. That I had to. But
damn it.
I see D-Lock dipped out again there for a second. Get him back.
Internet connections. But hey, I fixed my headphones. I fucked them up when the first match started, but I fixed them. Let's go.
Good. So, Mr. Awesome and I have had a little bit of a discussion about this, but we had the Heretics, we had Jason Atlas and Revan all making their debut at Best in the Yard, but in I believe it was called a Japanese Death Match.
Japanese Death Match, yes, sir.
Not something you typically see on a Best in the Yard card.
No.
He's like, man, I tell you.
Put me in a spot, man. Look, they do that stuff better than I can do it. That's all I'll say. They can do it better than I can do that. And I mean, like I don't, I love them guys, but it's those types of matches are not my cup of tea. Everybody has their, everybody has their preference.
Right. Now, for me personally, going into Best in the Yard and hearing that those two teams were going to be facing each other, we had seen them so many times on NUW programming at that point in time that it was like, really, why are we putting this on Best in the Yard? But that was my take on it at the time. The match was what it was, and the Bounce Cast got the win. Put it at that.
I mean, I could see what they were trying to do.
Like I said,
don't get me wrong. Oh, go ahead.
I think you were probably in there for a second.
Oh, damn. I mean, I didn't hate the match. I know what they were trying to do. And I think Atlas, if you look at the promo package that's put up in the highlight, I think it kind of described it perfectly. Atlas was like a split personality. You didn't know whether you were getting the Stark Supremacy's disease or if you were getting the Atlas, the headhunter, the one-man mosh pit. You didn't know which one you were getting. And I think in the Balance of Chaos match, he had to be the BOC version.
Right.
And he had to bring the chaos, and I think he did. And yes, we have seen those teams wrestle a lot at that point, but they kind of had a series going. I feel like there's more in DBW as well, but I could be wrong.
There was more in DBW as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But I think the NUW one is what's considered canon for this. I think they were trying to like break a tie. I think they were 2-2.
Something along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah, and little did we know this wasn't the end of that rivalry. Because they would actually culminate it, at least for the minute, at Backyard Rumble 3, NUW 2019. And to be honest, this was probably their most chaotic match, pun intended.
Sure. All right.
Hey, D-Lock, you want to do Japanese Deathmatch Killer Instinct?
Wait, say what?
You want to do the Japanese Deathmatch Killer Instinct? That blank face, he just had to glare. Oh no. Ustalo helping him out.
We're gonna have a chat after this.
Aw, damn.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Don't point that finger in my face.
Okay. So then we move on to that triple threat match between Ustalo, Hellhound, and I just drew blank.
The return of Tyler Storm.
Yes, Tyler Storm. I was watching part of that match the other day, and honestly to say, I think it's one of Tyler's lesser matches that he's had at Best in the Yard, in my opinion. But he's in there with who he was in there with compared to who he's been in the ring with the previous Best in the Yard. So
I would say this: Ustalo does some crazy shit too. I do not understand. Somebody showed me a clip, and he probably knows about it, of him almost breaking his neck, and I literally I was like, hey, he's got to be dead. There's no way he's alive. He's dead. He's dead. No, he would move, and I was like, there's no way. I was like, there's no way. I mean, he can. Hey, if he wants to do that, that's great. But I tell you what, I'm not breaking my neck. I give props to him. He's got bigger cojones than I do.
Right. At least,
no, Tyler. Don't get me wrong. I love Tyler. I love the Tyler Storm gimmick. I think it all, it gave everybody some nostalgia. But I think what he does now is, the gimmick now, I think it steamrolls that gimmick,
the
100%.
Booba.
He put so much effort in now than he did that one. Because I think the only thing about Tyler Storm, I don't think it didn't have that. I don't know. It's hard to put a word on it. It's like that one didn't have that it factor. But,
Yeah.
The gimmick now, it puts that one in the water. And I'm proud of him. And, definitely they all did their thing. And I actually enjoyed that match. I really did. I enjoyed it. It wasn't nothing too, extravagant. But it was definitely something that it was good. And it's just hard. Like, a lot of the stuff, I think this Best in the Yard, I think what had happened was a lot of the stuff was rushed.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people really wanted to be on the show, and a lot of people showed up. And it's hard for people that are booking the show to put people where they want to be, or, put people that they want to be with. But in the end, it's just trying to, it's basically trying to make everybody happy. That's what it all boils down to. And it's tough though. I was lucky, at BD2 to be put on the show. So, it's hard. And it's.
All right. We'll get your takes on that here in a little bit anyway. But at least Ustalo can say he's got to win at Best in the Yard, unlike Wolfstalo.
Oh, ouch. You just had to go there, did you?
I'm sorry, I had to bring it up.
Well, I guess I'll break down this match. This is Tyler Storm's first appearance since facing Jason Walker. At least first match since facing Jason Walker at Best in the Yard 2.
Right.
In a... how should I put it? In a match where they were two very similar wrestlers and characters. And I think people, when he was no longer the Storm and he was trying to find himself, trying to figure out what worked as Tyler Aiken, when he was doing the brand, and then when he was being the bad son, people really wanted the Storm back. So I think this is kind of why he did it. I think he wanted to give them what they wanted, but I think D-Lock hit it on the head pretty much. This was a transitional Best in the Yard where the old guard was kind of faded out and the new guard was kind of having to get their moments in while they could. And I think Ustalo, I'm glad he got a win at Best in the Yard. And
I think everybody was. And I'm glad too. He's definitely, he's busted his balls. Everybody has. But I'm glad to see that he got a win. And like you said, the Tyler, everybody, this was a good show for the Tyler Storm to, I guess, kind of be, on in the sunset. That was good for. It was, it's finally, it's time to, everybody's got to move on from certain stuff. And I think that was a good way to, kind of just move on. So,
Yeah, for Usla at that point, he was kind of coming off of, if I remember correctly, Endgame, trying to save WWE too. So it had to have been a bright spot for him.
Yeah, I think this was a big win for him. But definitely when you think of Ustalo and what he's done from Endgame, he kind of had to get this win. He had to beat Tyler Storm, who beat Everett Creed at the first one. And to me, in this match, it was more about the rivalry that started in Proving Ground between Ustalo and Hellhound more than it was to do with Tyler at all. I think Tyler Storm, he didn't look weak in defeat. It just wasn't about him. It wasn't his time at this particular matchup. So I think that's probably why you feel that way.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he did bad. It's just the focus was more on the new talent.
Yeah. And I mean, and both Ustalo and Hellhound, God, Hellhound is so. I mean, I feel like people underlook him a lot because he's definitely. I would say he's definitely somebody to look out for this year. I think he's going to have a big year. I mean, especially in DBW as well, and hopefully, down the line, something. Hopefully in VTW, I hope. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely underlooked, and I mean, even Ustalo. I mean, Ustalo's underlooked, and I hate it. But they're definitely underrated guys that need to be. I would say definitely watch those two.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have big years. So.
All right. Well, let's move on to one of the first of the 3 main events technically with Beth in the Yard 4. Which happens to be my favorite match. Well, close to 3.
Little death right there.
God almighty, man.
Wow. So many spots in that match to talk about. I mean, one of my first favorite moments in the match, seeing Novin go for the choke slam, which Zach counted into the hangover, or RKO, whatever you want to call it. I know he was calling it the hangover at that point in time. It just was an awesome spot there. To see Kirsten get involved, hit the unprettier kill switch, whatever you want to call it, on Novin, before taking the last right's tombstone herself. I mean, to see her get involved 2 years in a row, that's something. The guitar shot, Zach leveled Novin with that guitar shot. And then, of course, he got the last right tombstone at the end for the win. Wow.
Them, God, wow. They killed it. I mean, but if you're gonna keep Novin down, you gotta keep him down. You just gotta pummel him. You just gotta keep him down. You can't let him get up. Can't let him do nothing. You just gotta beat his ass. You just gotta beat the shit out of him at that point. You can't let him get some momentum going, or it's over. And
right.
Kirsten hit him with the unprettier. And it was for the kill switch, and you got to keep on him. You can't let him. He got up, and I was like, "Yep, Kirsten, you're dead." I was like, "That's it. You're dead. You're just done."
Right.
But I give Kirsten. She's great, and hopefully you'll get to see her. Hopefully, we hope in the ring at some point. But I'm not going to take away, from Novin and Zach. They just, God Almighty, they can work. They killed it, and that was a phenomenal match from both of them. And hopefully I get to run it back with Zach here soon. And hopefully me and Novin will get it the first time. So that'll definitely be a sight to see too. So
right.
I've already beaten Yvonne, and I've got a little bit of beef with Novin. So he took out, my cousin. So my cousin's sleeping with little Debbie cakes right now. So that sucks. But
Yeah. That he did do a video 3. All right. Before I let anybody move on, H2 is in the comment section. So there's a face I haven't seen in a minute. One of my favorites from BTW back in the day. Hope I get to see D-Lock on Video 5. And asked if you transitioned into the indies as well.
I will say, you will definitely see me on Biddy 5. Johnny Reed has already challenged me, and I'm gladly to accept. So we're gonna run it at Biddy 5, and we're gonna tear it down. And no pun intended, but we're it's definitely, like I said, it's not gonna be a match. It's gonna be a fight, and I'm definitely ready for it. And you'll definitely get to see it. And God Almighty, it's gonna be tough, but he's definitely Johnny is definitely a tough opponent, and he is definitely underrated as well. And I mean, like I said, I think both of us are going in underrated, and we've always both been underdogs. I mean, from the start, both of us, and we've got something to prove, and we'll see who turns out, I guess, the big dog in the end.
All right. We got that comment section. It's H2 first in there. Since we're on certain topics of you, D-Lock, next match, of course, your match from Best of the Yard 4.
I can't wait. Yay. Get to tell the story. Yay. That everybody wants to know.
Get into it after the highlights.
I love Rick.
You can't grow a beard? Is that it? Come on, man. What are you doing?
amazing camera, by the way.
I love that one. Yeah.
Oh, no.
So before you go into stories from that, real quick, I want to mention this wasn't the first time you and Rick had faced each other. As of course at Bidding 2, it was supposed to be TOP versus Killer Instinct. We all know Dustin ended up not being able to show up. He had the handicap match. So from there, we have this match. I want to know, first of all, how was taking that Rios rotation device into the tree?
It wasn't fun. It definitely wasn't fun.
It's not.
I will say I called that. I called for that on my part. And definitely, a tree doesn't move. So it definitely did not feel good. Oh, man. I knew when he got me up, I was like, well, we might as well just do it. And he sent me in the tree, and I literally thought I dislocated my hip. I was like, this really hurt. This really hurt. And funny enough, we're going to go ahead and get into it a little bit. After that, as you can see, I was like looking around. I'm like, where is Rick? And I love Rick.
Right.
And Rick, me and Rick laugh about it to this day. And I'm looking around. It's like 5-10 minutes have gone by. And I'm like, where is Rick? And I'm sitting here looking, and he's nowhere to be found.
Mm-hmm.
And I look, and I look, and then everybody keeps looking back behind the building. I'm like, where is he at? And funny enough, he had blown up, as we call it. He had gotten sick, dehydrated, whatever. He was throwing up in the back. And I said, oh, my God, this is not good. I mean, he's profusely vomiting. And I'm like, oh, boy. I said, we're going to have to call an audible here or something. And I said, do you want to, end it? Like, call it right here or whatever. He's like, no, let's just keep going. I'm like, all right, cool. And get done and all that stuff. And then after the match, he's like, yeah, dude, I was freaking vomiting back there. And I was like, well, what did it? Like, what happened? He's like, I don't know. He's like, well, he drank 3 energy drinks before the match. And I was like, oh, no wonder. I was like, no wonder. You drink 3 energy drinks and you're going out there pretty much about to go in a coma, a sugar coma. And I'm like, oh my gosh. He's like, yeah, well, what did it in was the first senton in the ring. And I was like, oh, that would set it off. And we laugh about it. And, it sucked that it happened. I mean, it happens. I mean, it's part of it. But, we did what we could. And, it sucks. And he hated himself for it. And I said, dude, don't hate yourself for it. It happens. And it happens to the best of us. And, we still did what we could. And I still think that was a good match. I mean, it's tough. I mean, when situations happen like that, you got to call an audible. You got to, you got to be prepared because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if somebody's going to get hurt on the spot or something like that happens. I mean, you just got to call it where it is. And, we done the best we could. And, we did our best. And that's all I can say. I mean, but yeah, that's funny. That was the story. He had drank like 2 Monsters and a Red Bull. Something like that. I was like, that'll do it. You might want to stick with water next time or something. Or, a Gatorade. Something that gives you some electrolytes or something. Not a lot of a B12, stuff like that.
Right.
The Red Bull gave him wings that day. And it was definitely in the grass of throw up. So, but I love Rick. He's great. It just sucked, but that happened. But he's definitely nothing against him or nothing like that. It just happens, and hopefully we'll be able to run it back.
Man, we got to
Hopefully
get Rick
indoors.
back on here.
Indoors this time, not outdoors, and not on 3 energy drinks. So
That just makes it even more so that we got to get Rick back on here. I mean,
yes,
now we know not just Big Time Mike, but D-Lock can get
yes,
Rick
yes.
in the middle of a match.
I mean, yeah, if you really think about it, he has a lot of best in the yard controversy, doesn't he? Because of the best in the yard 2 was his first as well, and the fact that his match changed completely last second, and then he still has to give us the Big Time Mike story, and then there's this. Oh my, how do you do that, Rick? Damn it.
He does it. I mean, it happens. I mean, heck, even that best in the yard. I mean, ours was planned. Oh my gosh, it was like a couple days before. I mean, it was just fast paced, and I was like, oh my god, we have nothing prepared or nothing like that. So it happens. They threw us in there and was like, all right, we'll just try our best and do what we can. And I mean, it's hard. I mean, nothing against anybody there. It just, like I said, that best in the yard was rushed. I mean, it was definitely tough for everybody, and
100-degree weather too couldn't have helped.
no, it was hot. And I mean, it was hot. It was like 90 something degrees. The humidity felt like 100%. You're profusely sweating. It was hot. And even, the ring set up under the tree didn't help. There's no help. It's still hot. We're both wearing, he's wearing tight pants and a shirt and sweating. I'm wearing cargo pants and a shirt. It's hot. And face paint on top of that. It's about gone. It just, not fun.
So I got to ask you though, there at the end, you hit the senton and then decided to hit the senton again off the other side of the ring. Was it because you weren't satisfied with the first one, or was that the plan to hit 2 of them?
Well, I had hit the first one. I knew he was hurt or sick on his stomach, so I was like, well, I'm gonna try not to land exactly on him because that would just make it 10 times worse. And I hit it, and then I was gonna go, and he said, "Do it again." That's what he told me. He's like, "Do it again." I was like, "Oh God!" I was like, "Rick, please." But he insisted. He was like, "Do it again." I was like, "Okay, I'll do it again." And I tried my best not to land on him, but it didn't work. I just landed on top of him. And but
honestly, the second one looked better.
that's what he wanted. So I cared for his safety. So that's why I didn't really just want to land on him like that. I mean, he's already got an upset stomach from 3 energy drinks, so it'll be definitely don't want him puking if I hit the first one and then I get puke on top of me. So, and then I'm puking in the ring from his vomit.
It's like that scene from Family Guy where everybody drank that alcohol or whatever it was, and everybody just pukes all over the place.
Yeah, they're just throwing up constantly. You got just Peter throwing up, Stewie throwing up. There's just everybody's throwing up.
No, but I enjoyed that match. It was very physical. I mean, obviously, Rick, he's a hard hitter. No matter what you could say, like he was laying them in right there. And I think, given the situation, I mean, it was a good match to me.
Yeah.
I think, like, some things you just like, oh my God. Like, that clothesline on the outside, man. It just, you flew. And every time you take that Rios rotation device, you fly again. So,
I tell him that too all the time when he hits me with that. I'm like, dude, because everybody says I'm light as a feather. I mean, I jump with everything. They pick me up and they're like, dang, this guy's light. This guy don't weigh 160 like he weighs 100 pounds. And I mean, and I tell him that too. I'm like, and also it helps when he's got me in that position and he throws me and I'm already pushing off his shoulders at the same time. So it just gives me extra rotation. So I'm just sitting there flying like a propeller on a helicopter. it's wild, but I enjoy it, and you know, we did what we could, and I still loved it. So we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think also another thing, you also see Rick coming out with TJ and Dirty. So pretty much the Murder Club was there for the man who pretty much was, I wouldn't say as involved in the club anymore. I think you were doing your own thing. And clearly the face paint showed a different side of D-Lock that hadn't been seen before. And given how your 2018 went, which is pretty much your final full-time year, you failed to win the VTW World title, and you had the match with David Lowell, but the D-Lock that showed up on Best in the Art 4, something completely different. And I think that's interesting to me because, like, the Murder Club was such a force the year before, and this is pretty much the only time we've seen it at this show, which is kind of crazy. And it was, in a way, the man who was an outlaw of the whole establishment, and he was pretty much facing pretty much the head in charge that showed up.
Yeah, it's basically like the pack, like a pecking order. You know, you step up and you challenge the next one up, and you keep going and going and going. And it's just a pecking order. It's a challenge, and you know, he decided that he wanted to pick on the underdog. And I didn't really like that very much, and so I had established my place, and it turned out in my favor. But I mean, this is what I'll say: the Murder Club. I joined it. And but don't let the Murder Club define. I always say I didn't let the Murder Club define me. I was always me. I was always the outlaw, just me. I didn't let it. It didn't. It necessarily didn't. It didn't elevate me. It didn't de-elevate me. It just kept me at a spot to where I can improve and just work on my craft and help other people out as well. But it definitely didn't define me, and hopefully there has been some hopefully there's been some talks around. Hopefully soon I'll challenge the leader. So we'll see how that goes. One more time.
Well, since we're talking about Murder Club, and you mentioned it earlier.
Is it what I think it is?
It is.
The pop of the century from me. Oh, man.
A newer member of the Murder Club, or the Boys, if you will, had this to say earlier today.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shiny Reed, also known as the Superior Prodigy and the Shotgun Kid. You may know me from NUW, also known as the Great Underground Wrestling. I think guys like Mickey TDM, Jordan Howard, and the Mama Channel, the name goes on. I'm here to talk about one thing only. Nothing is Best in Your 5. I want to wrestle. It's the outlaw. D-Lock. I call that D-Lock. The guy who was beating the names I wrestled. So D-Lock, I'm challenging you to a one-on-one match at Best in Your 5. I called him out. Still no response. D-Lock, come on. Let's get it on. One-on-one, Best in Your 5. I'm looking to defeat somebody big. And D-Lock, you have that name. So D-Lock, what are you waiting for? Let's make it happen.
That's what you referred to earlier. What's the response?
Like I said, I've told him. I'm gonna tell him again. I mean, I'm ready for it, and I accept. I mean, he may be the shotgun kid, but all it takes is one shotgun kick, and you're done. So I'm ready for it. And he will get to hear my full response here soon. But just let him know that I accept. And like I said before, I said it's just not going to be a match. It's going to be a fight, and I hope he's ready for it because, like like you said earlier, I mean, this is a different outlaw. This is a different me. So I I hope he's ready for that. And you know, I mm, I pray for his safety. I really do because I'm not liable for what I do to him.
Well then.
Well, that was partially what I was referring to. I was more so, I guess now that D-Luck has said that, I was talking about the pop of the century. DBW Ground Zero when
Yeah.
this
That's
some things happened and some music hit. And so I guess that pretty much is stepping his toes in the water. Johnny Reed, shotgun kid wants the shotgun kick. Well, seems like you're gonna get it.
Yeah, I mean, I showed up at DVW and I got that call. Actually, funny enough, I got that call a week before, and TJ he needed a partner, and sure enough, he called me, and I said I'm down for it, and we went up there, and gosh, man, we put on a show up there, and it's I love TJ. TJ's my brother. We have fun, and we definitely had a great time up there, and I enjoyed all them guys up there, and I hope soon that I get to go back up there as well. And like I said, I keep contact with management up there, and they're more than happy to welcome me back up there. So hopefully soon I'll be up there as well. I'm trying to do everything I can this year, as much as I can, because I think this year will probably be my last year in BYW. So it sucks, but I mean, for me, it was never a never-ending story. But this story has to end, at some point. So, and this year, it's probably gonna be the end for me. And I'm trying to work with everybody that I can, and hopefully, and I'm just trying to have fun this year and enjoy it, and go out a hell of a ride. So.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I see you breaking Twitter all the time now. Killer instinct. I see you. You try to break Twitter all the time now.
It's all right. You never know. Like I said, you never know. You never know. There's always a surprise. So you just never know.
Well, since you'll be talking about it, I guess the might as well show what we're referring to. Once it decides to pop up here. DBW Ground Zero. So to set the stage, it was a triple threat tag team match. And Powers Investment, Chronic, and then this mystery tag team of TJ and
The Sky. Hey, this is a tank match, right? I know what you think. Listen, Jack Harlow, you're expecting another man to come out of that rope. Just want to let you know, Rick is not here. He's not here. Rick is not here.
Ricky's not here.
But I know in the past, we've had a couple of issues with no shows. So,
No shows.
let me introduce you my tag team partner. From the hip. Oh! Son, kill that thud! He's the outlaw! He's the outlaw! He's the outlaw! He's the outlaw! He's the outlaw!
All right, that being the pop he was referring to, for anybody wondering. As you can hear Aaron Jones clearly
Yeah.
behind the camera.
And when I had a full lumberjack beard for once, I actually had a beard.
Right?
Man, you looked like an outlaw right there, the grizzled outlaw.
Yeah, I just let that son of a gun just grow out. I didn't care. I was like, I'll just let it grow out. Who cares? Yeah, that was definitely a man, when they gave me that pop, and I mean that sent jitters up my spine. I was trying not to cry, I really was, because that was definitely a very happy moment for me. So that definitely was very fun.
Well, as seems to happen at times during this show, you mention somebody's name, they pop up in the comment section. Aaron Jones says hello.
God damn it. I know what Aaron wants me to do. I already know. It's our little inside joke. I already know. But I'll do it. Hey, Aaron, that shit be busting. Oh, God.
Well, he's got good timing coming in since we got the main event left now. Might just have to bring him in and talk about it. This is going to be a little lengthier of a clip, though. Sit back and enjoy.
You know, they say what you do in your past is what makes you the man that you are in your future.
President Jones is spearship. You saw him earlier today.
Yes, we did. Prop 2 field forward.
Keep talking smack yourself with your company out, because while I'm giving you all the publicity of BTW, BTW has been number one for a long damn time. And I'm damn sure ain't letting your company get in the way of that. Your time is over. It's out with the old and in with the new. And the new is a dominating force in backwards. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how big DBW gets. Doesn't matter what you do going out that curtain. How you get in this ring or what you do in between these ropes. Because me stepping in DBW only makes you second best to the Black Panther.
Oh, that was all I need to live up to your end. I blocked your ass out.
Judgment! Live the revolution!
They showed the dollar store. Ladies and gentlemen, what's this mean? Oh God! The fellas run gates,
I've got down on my knees and begged to God for forgiveness. And I don't know why you're doing this.
But you was doing what?
So I did what I had to do.
Oh, you guys!
And it's happened again.
Truth
CRME,
waiting for you
I know what you want.
today.
You must show your face.
yourself. The time of one human soul's judgment day. You say that I need to be judged from my past. Your actions brought you to me. You act like a saint. You think that you're a saint. You think that you are powerful and holy. Hold your soul in the palm of my hands. No judgment. You're not. Words were inscribed, Devin Jones. You know, it's unreal the way that the clock takes your life away. I paid for those sins. I look in the mirror at the man I have become. And your time is up. You want to say that my time is over? You and I will meet face to face. I'm going to prove to everyone that in time, your time will be no more. For I am the right hand of Christ and the left hand of Lucifer himself. I am the prophet. And your future reads Aaron Jones wins the main event of Best in the Yard 4. Your soul is mine. Come on.
Awesome.
Let's go! Live the revolution! Best in the fucking yard. Let's go, Aaron. Let's go, Aaron. Oh! 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 Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh! Oh! We do not.
The blackout can fly.
Do you guys like him? Because you can have him.
They just throw him. That's fucking great.
One job. One job. Kill that bull. Kill that bull. Kill that bull.
You had one job.
Yep.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Adam's face right there.
Back to the yard! Back to the yard! You shit on your chair. Roll your past out of here. You're pathetic. Scum-filled hustle life.
hate that word.
Down to Oh, God! Happy birthday, dear Aaron. Happy birthday to you. Here we go. Let's go.
Soaking in the moment right there.
Come on.
Well, we just watched the highlights for it. So
Damn it.
welcome back, D-Lock. Welcome in, Aaron Jones.
How's everybody doing?
Doing good. How are you doing today, sir?
I am great. I just got out of the shower.
I can tell.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back this way. There we go.
I showed up this time, Aaron.
Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah, man, I showed up a whole 2 months late.
Tony, I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm not gonna have 7,000 cameos this time. TJ Sakara was here last week.
Good timing then.
Yeah.
All right. So walk us through, Aaron. That was your main event. What was it like, the lead up to it, watching it back now?
So this is actually super weird because I've never actually stopped and talked about the main event of Biddy 4. And I almost feel emotional. I'm not even going to lie to you. It was a very special day. D-Lock over here probably remembers. That was filmed on June 16th, 2018. And that was my 21st birthday. So I got to celebrate my 21st birthday, not only with the people that I loved more than just about anybody in this world, but also main eventing Best in the Yard for the first time. Going back and watching the build, man, I mean, I remember we put a lot of effort into that. The CRME stuff, I mean, the cryptic messages, just so many different things we put into it, and thoughts of like, you know, he's Mr. Judgment. He's the, you know, left-hand man of God, the right-hand man of Satan. I mean, he's the one who sends you where you're supposed to go. And we based it off of those sins. Me hanging people back in the day, me turning on Chase, different things. To him doing what he did, it was just, I don't think we could have told a better story in the build.
Right.
I'll go ahead and say this 1,000% every day of the week. The man behind the character of Mr. Judgment, Brian, is not only just a phenomenal human being, but one of the best wrestlers I have ever met. Not just in the yard, but on the pros. I've been pro for the last 3 years and is still just so phenomenal at everything he does. And I felt like he deserved that spot just as much as anybody. So leading into the match, D-Lock probably remembers, Biddy days are very, very stressful for me because I always wanted to make sure they were ran smooth. I had to get the stages built. I had to, you know, set up the ring, different things. So, like, I ain't gonna lie, I was a complete and utter asshole the days of Biddy. Like, that's just how it was. And, like, is Mr. Awesome eating like a keyboard right now?
Yeah, I think that's coming from
I
D-Lock.
was muted, damn it.
Oh, D-Lock, mute yourself. It sounds like you eat a keyboard. That keyboard's busting.
I don't think it's me.
Oh, it totally is you because it stopped.
It's all good.
I was so good in my emotions and you ruined it. No, but
Switch.
I'll never forget going through that curtain. And, they say there's nothing like a best in the yard pop. And dang, if that wasn't one of the biggest ones we ever had. And I've always been really fortunate to, get those pops coming out the curtain at Best in the Yards. But that one was special, going back to my old entrance theme and debuting my new gear and everything all at once. If you look over under the tent, you actually see Cameron Jackson and Cage. And, obviously, we all know what Cage is doing now. And
Right.
me and him are very good friends. Or, we were really good friends. We still talk occasionally now. Great guy. But just to have every single person there for me to stand on the side of that ring and everybody shout with me, live the revolution, me to get in the ring. And actually, I got to share the ring with the guy who not only is the reason that I'm on the Independence, being Mr. Judgment because of the match we had at DBW, but the guy who was reffing is the booker of the company that booked us on our first ever indie show.
Oh, nice.
So that's just a nice little tidbit. But the match itself, I actually beat myself up about this match a lot, and people get so mad that I do because everybody's like, dude, it's a really good match. But I just felt like I could have done so much more for Brian. But contrary to what I believe, I love the match. I go back and watch it occasionally. I think we told a really good story, and an even funnier part is Hellhound actually got knocked out cold.
Oh, really?
So during the double judgment slam, if you go back, Adam Anderson's upper back. Now, mind you, it's about as wide as this pin right here.
Right.
But either way, it landed directly on Hellhound's head. So his head got smashed onto the mat, and then Adam Anderson's back on top. And if you see his hands up like this, like he straight zombie arms, he was knocked out cold. Then we had to roll him out of the ring because he's knocked out. He doesn't remember crap from after that till, I finally hit the ultimate burial and did the moonsault off the middle rope for the first time. And I'm not somebody who gets emotional after matches. I've never been that guy. I know somebody who is there in this chat. I love him very much. Yeah, that guy. But I had never cried after a match before. And that was the day. Obviously, you see the second I pinned him, 1, 2, 3, I rolled over and immediately grabbed him by the head. And we shared some words there, and everybody started singing happy birthday.
Right.
And honestly, it's one of my favorite moments of my life. Not my wrestling life or my yard life. No, it's one of my favorite moments I have ever had in my life. And then what people don't see is when the camera cuts. Is every year I give a speech. I've gave a speech since Best in the Yard 1, and I've gave a speech at every Best in the Yard, including 5. But what's cool this year is now the speeches that we do are going to be on camera. There's a little Easter egg for you.
Nice.
But I did stop and I gave a speech to everybody, and I told them, that it was stressful and we didn't know what the future held. And at that time, it was almost like we knew we were done. But for some reason, I said, Chase Bridges, I love him to death. He said something about if there's going to be a bitty 5, I'll eat my hat. And I said, Chase Bridges, you better eat your hat because there's damn sure going to be a bitty 5. And then there was never talks about it again until we did it. So that's actually like a little joke. I've talked to Chase a couple times since we did Best in the Yard 5. And I'm like, Bubba, how'd that hat taste? But, I think a lot of people showed out on Best in the Yard 4, especially going under some of the circumstances. Sorry, it's getting dark. I'm going to the hall, going to my room because I just heard Cameron Jackson pull in, and we don't need a cameo. But
yeah, until he starts screaming in the other room, then he'll make himself the cameo.
Yeah, so
obviously I wasn't here for the rest of the rest of the show itself, but I mean I think everybody did the best they could with the hands they were dealt that day. Obviously, there's a lot of things about this show I would change.
Yeah.
Love some of those guys, but there's a tag team Japanese death match that should have never happened.
Yeah, we discussed that earlier.
Oh, God. I mean, there's some good guys in that match.
Right.
And that's where I'm stopping saying anything about that match. But I mean, there were a lot of memorable moments. I mean, Tyler Aiken coming back out for the first time in a long time as Tyler Storm. You see Victor Van Pelt and Ecstatic wrestling over Victor's balls, which that's still odd to say, and it's been years. To a match like Novin and Zach Daniels, which, in my opinion, is one of the best matches in Best in the Yard history.
I'd agree.
Seeing guys like Caleb Cross finally get his shot, or I think he was Caleb Cross at this point. He might have still been Striker. I don't know.
He was Caleb Cross.
Okay. Seeing guys like Caleb Cross finally get their shot on the big show against somebody like Dirty DeChico, who is so well established at Biddy. He's been at all of them. To D-Lock and Ricky in the co-main event. And Ricky vomiting 12 times. Okay, it was 3, but I like to say 12. To, like I say, getting the main evented. I mean, there was just so many special moments. And I look back on that day a lot with a lot of regret and a lot of sadness because, yes, it was the end of an era. Because it truly was. And now that we have 5 coming, it's like, I'm glad we could get back together for that last hurrah. I mean, that's why it's called the last hurrah. And I can't wait for everybody to get to actually sit down and see this show. I can't give you a date. I just can't. But I will say it's coming out this month. And there's not much of the month left. So, coming out this month. The guy who's editing it currently is working on a special project that nobody knows about at the end of the show. So, it's just taking a little bit longer.
I do know we are ran through a new video from Everett Creed as well. It was posted on the NUW channel today.
Well, I can't wait to watch that one. Can I just say that Everett has put his whole foot in this little video series that he has made. I mean, so much creativity.
Right?
The best part is I was watching it, the one where he's pulling into the driveway, and I was watching it with Zach Hutchinson, Zach Daniels. And Zach goes, Aaron, is that your driveway? And I go, no. I said, Everett didn't film anything when he was here. And he goes, no, Aaron, this is your driveway. And I went, no, it's not. And then all of a sudden, there's my house. And I was just like, that's my house. And I was like, I didn't even know this was being filmed. So just like cool little things like that. But Everett has put a lot of effort into it. Going back and find Easter eggs in the first couple. They're really good. But I can't wait to watch this 4th one because I just saw the thumbnail and it intrigued me. So, I mean, I'm excited for Biddy. That's for darn sure. We're watching our last here, kid. Can I also just say, though,
it's
Mr.
definitely going to be worth the wait.
Oh, 1,000% worth the wait. Mr. Awesome, can you hear me?
Yes, Aaron, I can hear you.
I'm glad you can hear me.
Oh, here we go.
I like to give you crap. I don't even know what you look like, first off. And I like to give you a lot of crap. But at the end of the day, you have done a phenomenal job on all the editing that you have done and all the production that you have put together for the NUW channel on the Build the Best in the Yard. So I want to go ahead and thank you as somebody who booked the Best in the Yards for putting in the time and effort that you definitely didn't have to.
Well, you're welcome, man. I just hope that the last hurrah gets its proper anticipation, you know? Because I think it should feel the way it should.
And I mean, this is going to sound bad. If it doesn't feel that way, I'm fine with it because I'm going to be selfish because guys like me and D-Lock got to feel it the way that it was that day. And I can tell you, it was a very, very emotional day for every single person who was there. And the best part is, like, most of the matches we are not announcing. You will figure out who is wrestling who when the video is live streamed. Obviously, you can see that there's some build for Everett Creed and Cameron Jackson. If you're following Twitter, you can see that I'm wrestling Yankee, the difference maker, for the first time ever. And honestly, I saw on the NUW channel there was some little freak calling D-Lock out, some twig. You don't call out my boy D-Lock. That's Diggle. You don't mess with Diggle. But I mean, the rest of the matches on the show are kind of a surprise. You just have to watch to see what they are. So that's another cool thing. That's something we've never done. We've always been very big on you got to promote every match, and we're kind of keeping things on the down low. You got to figure out who's there and who's wrestling who.
That'll be fun to see what transpires.
Well, I can tell you there's some 5-star classics on the show. There are some dream matches on the show. And then there are matches that you did not know that you wanted on that show until they happened.
Nice.
There's
a lot of guys, a lot of big names that don't have matches currently.
And I mean, you got to think there were still names who weren't able to make it to that show. I mean, there were other guys who were invited who either had to cancel due to COVID or work or both or just different things. So this is a best in the yard without a Shadow Grim, who still never got to show what he could do on Best in the Yard. This is the first Best in the Yard without Dirty DeChico. This is the first Biddy without. We really wanted Brandon Castelli there. I'm a big advocate for him. I think he's a very good up and coming young talent, and he wasn't able to make it. And I'll go ahead and give you a little bit of a secret here. Best in the Yard is a very hard thing to book, and it takes a really long time, and it's a whole lot of stress. Myself, Cameron Jackson, and Everett Creed booked Best in the Yard, called every bit of the talent, and had the show completely booked in 25 hours. We started on a 7 o'clock on one day and was done by 8 o'clock the next day. Every single person was booked, and we knew what matches we were having. And that was the quickest that's ever happened. And if it could have happened like that back in the day, life would be less stressful and I wouldn't be balding. Speaking of balding, Zach Daniels confirmed for Best in the Yard 5.
You ain't right for that. You ain't right.
I gotta take jabs. But balding. I like to call Zach Daniels Mr. Judgment Jr. Have you ever noticed they're Pokemon evolutions of each other? Like Zach is the Squirtle, and Ryan. It's crazy. But that was going off on a weird tangent. But I do want to say there's going to be a lot of really cool things for people to look at during Best in the Yard 5. I keep calling it Best in the Yard 5. It's Biddy 5. We don't want to use that Y word. Too many of us are pros. Some people are scared of it. It will always be Best in the Yard to me.
Right.
But, yeah.
And there's an up-and-coming tag team called the Bussin' Boys.
Dang it, D-Lock. Me and D-Lock as a tag team would kill through some old yarders.
Yep.
TFP, we're coming for you. No. But, yeah, so definitely be on the lookout. NUW channel within the next couple of weeks. Hopefully they'll make an announcement of the day that it should be streaming. But I'll go ahead and say, typical Biddy, it's about a 4-hour show. Filled with a whole lot of action, a whole lot of good memories, a couple speeches, and even a ceremony for something. So it's very different than the other Best in the Yards. But I'm glad that we could all get together one last time and do what we do best and go out there and kill it. And now we'll just have to come up with another show that's not called Best in the Yard, so we have the reason to get together again. So
Yeah, reunion. That's pretty much it.
yeah, reunion. We're not going to do the Rumble anymore.
Well, damn.
D-Lock, we need to talk when this goes off air. No. But,
Damn it. Fuck. Well, let me go ahead and get my shovel.
yeah,
Burial time, huh?
so D-Lock can bury.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and let me go dig my 6-foot hole real quick.
Gonna get buried. Yep. But I will say we have. I was gonna say y'all have, but D-Lock hadn't been in as many as some of us. Throughout the whole community, there have been a lot of crossovers from all Best in the Yards to crossover process, King of the Yard, Classic Yard, WrestleCon. There's been a ton, and none of them have the people or the meaning that Biddy 5 had. So I can't keep saying enough good things about it. I mean, the matches could have been terrible, but there's not a weak match on the show. There's not one thing bad thing. Everything is perfect.
Nice.
And hey, you get to see D-Lock on the show. I mean, I'm gonna watch it for that reason.
I'm sure some people will tune in just for that reason.
Okay, but I'm not gonna take all D-Lock's time. Hell, is it great to get there and talk to you. I'm glad to go and talk about the main event of this best card for. I'm glad I could share a little insight. Bob. Other than that, great to hear from you always. Get touch with Mr. Good old Awesome. I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, I'm glad I made it too, Aaron.
The only time we're ever gonna make it and be over is when Aaron Jones is in the same chat. And D-Lock.
Damn, already buried. Way to go, Aaron.
This whole live stream, Dylan, since you were in it, this shit be bushing.
All right. With that, Aaron Jones is gone. So D-Lock, I've asked everybody else. I got usually started at the beginning of the show. Any other memories or just anything in particular from the other Best in the Yards that you were a part of that you want to share?
I mean, man, I had so many good memories. I mean, I enjoyed it. Even the first one I went to, I mean, just getting to meet everybody. I mean, that's probably, I think, just meeting everybody, getting to know everybody. I think that will always be the best memory to me because you make so many new friends and brothers that I consider. I mean, that's probably my biggest thing. I mean, just getting to be able to basically create a new family for yourself and always have people that know have your back and, you know, be able to build your life around people and just have a good time. I mean, we all know my best memory is the backstage brawl in the Vaughn. I mean, that's always gonna be the biggest memory to me is me fighting the Vaughn. I mean, it's always gonna happen. I mean, poking at the bear, putting my finger in his face, and just absolutely beating the shit out of each other. That's just... Oh man, that I remember that story. I think that was the first time I actually talked to Devon, and everybody's like, "Hey, you just pick on Devon." I was like, "All right, I'll do whatever." And I get talking to Devon, and me and Chase are just sitting there talking. You know, he's sitting on a cooler, and I was like, "Devon, just picking with him," and kept putting my pink finger in his face, and he's like, "You better stop, motherfucker!" And I'm like, "Oh, God, I've got him on the hook." And I did it again. All right, Devon, we'll put my finger in your face again. And he punched me in the face. I was like, all right, shit, here we go. And we just started fighting. And then Chase, I throw Navon in the garage door, and then Chase opens the door, and then here we go. Everybody's trying to watch the best in the yard right there, and they're like, "Oh God, there's a fight! There's a fight!" And they thought it was an actual fight. And I was like, "Oh, we got him on the hook now." And then we just let it roll. But I mean, I've had so many good memories, and I'm grateful for everybody that came and got to wrestle, and all the new guys that got to come and wrestle. I mean, it's a different experience, and I'm happy for it each and every day. So, and best in the yard, and BD5, it ain't no different. I mean, it's just more memories and more friends to make, and it'll be worth the wait, and it's definitely gonna be a great show. So
Nice. Now, before we go off the topic of Biddy 4, I've got to mention, of course, the production of Biddy 4 wasn't necessarily the greatest. We do know there was a couple matches that were cut from the show that footage got lost from. Being Dustin versus Everett, and I believe TJ versus Arnold McDonald. So,
and both of those were great, and it sucked that they didn't make it. They were both great.
well, for those of us who weren't there, we'll just have to envision that as being great. We've seen Everett and Dustin, I do believe, before, so I'd imagine.
I'll go ahead and I'll just spoil one of the moments is that Dustin took Everett around the crowd and everybody chopped the shit out of him. So that happened. And that was
Did you light him up? Did you light him up?
I was the last one, so yes, I had to. Yes.
Nice. Gonna say Everett kind of told that story last episode that we did. Mentioned that his then girlfriend Angie got a little upset with certain people chopping with the whole chopping.
Yes, they were. Yes. But hey, it happens. You want a crowd pop? There you go. You get the crowd involved. That's everything.
Right.
Well, I guess I'll break down my last thoughts about the main event. 1 through 4. I think no matter what, there's some other people on the card when the main event happens that you can argue maybe this match deserved it, this match didn't deserve it. But you know what? Aaron and Judgment, they didn't do bad at all. I don't think so. I think every main event of every Best in the Arts so far, and we shall see with 5, it's always been topical, but it doesn't mean that they were bad performances. I think
Right.
the 4 that we have seen so far were main event worthy. I think Aaron and Judgment did their thing, and whoever's got the reins for 5, I expect nothing different. And Best in the Yard 1 through 4, and I guess now 5. The one word I could describe it as is evolution. You're going to see, I guess, D-Lock, for example. You see the kid in the green tights at Best in the Yard 2, and then now you're going to see a whole different transformation. Not just the paint from 4, but now you're going to see something completely different with 5.
Indeed.
I think every main event at the Best in the Yard is well deserved. I mean, that's always been the case. It's well deserved. Whoever gets that spot, and they always perform and just kill it. I mean, Judgment and Aaron, they went out there and they worked and put on a show. Every main event, every Best in the Yard, even every match, they go out there, they put on a show, and they do everything that they can to make the fans and everybody enjoy it. And that's what I think a lot of people just, I wish that some people would just give that respect in that aspect, because they just don't go out there just to do it. They go out there because they love to do it, and they do it because they want to do it for the fans and everybody. So I applaud everybody for all matches that everybody has been in on Best in the Yard shows. I mean, they've all done great jobs, and even if even if some shows are rushed or some shows this or that, it's all fun experience and everybody has a good time. So it's always definitely well worth it.
Nice. Big Time Mike pops up in the comment section, says excited for this show.
Love you, Mike. I ain't seen Mike in a hot minute. Hopefully I get to chat with him. I love him. I hope he's doing good, and I hope everybody's watching is doing great. So,
Right. We had Mike on for City 1 when we did the retrospective for that. He'd be doing pretty well. So definitely looking forward to seeing what happens at City 5, Best in the Yard 5, whatever you want to call it, coming up here in the next couple weeks. Best in the Yard 4, again, like Mr. Austin was saying, the main event was the main event. Aaron and Judgment put on a good show and proved that they belong where they ended up at on that show. Big Time Mike mentions, love you, D-Lock. We need to catch up sometime.
absolutely, man. I'll definitely hit you up. So we'll catch up.
And as for Biddy 5, Best in the Yard 5, the last hurrah 5, whatever you want to call it. Any movie title in the works you can be appropriate right here. The End Game. You're just seeing more stuff unfold by the day. So you know what? Be prepared. There's a good word for you. Be prepared. Because we just saw one call out today. We saw Johnny Reed running off at the mouth about the Outlaws, so it's just a matter of time before he gets the proper response on his own home front.
It's just buckle up because this show it's definitely I'm excited for people to see the show. It's definitely it's going to be fantastic.
You better bring that toaster.
Damn it! I'll bring it. You just wait. I'll bring it. I'll put his name on it.
Man, if I see a damn toaster, I swear.
I'll make a shirt. I'll make sure to send it. I'll send it to all of you. I'll send a shirt free of charge from me.
Just the broken pieces of the toaster would be fine.
Yep.
Preferably not the one that Chase
I'll get
put the cheer wine in.
toaster I ever used, and I'll sign it, and I'll give it to somebody.
There you go.
There we go. We got a Best in the Yard 5 auction.
Yep.
Win D-Locks toaster. Tweet us at #Biddy5.
Right. All right. Well, this would be the part where I'd normally mention the next show that we'd be doing, but here's how Best in the Yard 5 is mostly going to be you see what you see when you see it on the card. Who knows what will be next?
Who knows where we'll all be next? Who the hell knows? Right.
But I do want to say again, thank you to Big Time Mike, Aaron Jones, Ecstatic, Everett Creed. Who am I forgetting here? That's been a part of this show. We got.
I mean, there's 246 cameos.
Yeah, Cameron Jackson, TJ Sakara, Diablo, Zach Daniels, and of course, D-Lock for joining us here for Best in the Yard 4 retrospective. With that, any last thing you want to put out there before we close this out together?
All I gotta say is I'm always grateful. Thank you, Tony, for always doing the stuff that you do. Mr. Awesome, same to you as well. Y'all put in phenomenal effort, and I thank y'all so much. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be on here whenever I can. I was always grateful for the first one. I was happy. Thank you for that, Tony. Appreciate that. Much love. Thank you. And hopefully, who knows? Maybe there'll be another one. We'll keep in touch, hopefully. So can't count it out.
All right. we're gonna end on this.
Well, Tony, you better be sending this to him because I know he wants it.
Yes, I do want it.
Invest
Nobody
in the
makes me
yard.
one, damn it. I want it.
The series concludes at 4, or does it? That's all I gotta say.
Right into this world all alone. Gotta take your soul. You're on your own. The crow flies straight, a perfect line. On the devil's bed until you die. That's life is short.